Welcome back to Switzer. The age-old interaction of bartering has become a flexible strategy in the modern business world. By using goods and services instead of cash to pay for expenses through a global network of trading members, businesses can boost their cash flow and their sales. Brian Hall, the co-founder of the world's largest trade exchange, Bartercard, joins me now to tell us all about the company and how small businesses can benefit from bartering. Brian, how are you, mate?
Great, thanks, Peter.
Look, I know you've got an American accent, but Bartercard didn't start in America, did it?
No, it started here in Australia, actually.
Yeah.
1991, so we're coming up to nearly 20 years now, Peter. Three entrepreneurs with an idea and expanded there. But in that time, we're now 40 offices here in Australia. We've got approximately 20,000 businesses trading in excess of $420 million a year. 6 countries and 55,000 cardholders, and that's all because we came up with the concept which enables businesses to trade or convert their excess or idle capacity into usable goods and services, saving them cash.
What countries are you in nowadays?
Well, we're in New Zealand, Thailand, UK, and a number of countries in the Middle East.
Okay. So you're the biggest trade exchange in the world.
Yep.
So you're bigger than a trade exchange in America?
Yes. Well, in America they have multiple trade exchange, but they're mostly all over the place, so they haven't consolidated.
It's a bit like their banks. Their banks are often smaller.
That's right.
And we have much bigger banks over here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people, I'm sure, out there don't get a Bartercard. Now, if I'm a straight consumer, you're not really chasing the consumer, are you?
No, it's for business.
Yeah.
Small business, medium, and large business as well.
Now, tell us how it works, and I'll play the uninformed small business owner and ask the most obvious questions so people can get what this is all about.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I guess the thing, Peter, when a business gets involved, we give an interest-free line of credit somewhere between $5,000 and $25,000, depending on the type of business they are, and then we give them an FPOS-enabled Bartercard, which allows them to transact. Now, we use a trade dollar as our medium exchange, so one trade dollar equals one Australian dollar for all accountancy purposes. So probably the best way is to give an example, and we use like a restaurant and a printer. So if you imagine if a restaurant wants to get, say, $10,000 worth of printing done, for him to go to a printer and say for $10,000 worth of restaurant meals, the printer may not want that, especially if he lives across town.
So that's the way the old system used to work.
So that's where it's not flexible and it doesn't work. Well, Bartercard comes in because of our system, and they're both part of Bartercard members. Now the printer or the restaurant owner can now pay the printer 10,000 trade dollars, which is credited to the printer's account, and the restaurant has debited 10,000 trade dollars. Now, the good thing is the printer doesn't have to buy from the restaurant. He can buy from any of the businesses in the Bartercard network, locally, nationally, or internationally. So what we've achieved for the printer is we've got him a new account. We're giving him the flexibility once he buys. We're giving him security and stored value. And also we've given him an accounting system. On the other side of the restaurant, he now has a debit. Now we make his business available in an online directory and hard copy directory. So as businesses come and use his services, his level of debt is slowly worked down. So in effect, over time, he's paid for his printing with his restaurant meals.
Is there an interest rate on this line of credit?
There's no interest rate. We make a transaction fee, and that's how we make our money.
Yeah. I know I encountered you guys indirectly when I think you advertised in one of our magazines many years ago. So effectively, we had a Bartercard account. Now, the one thing that seemed people would say to me when you talk to other people who joined Bartercard, say, well, we don't know how to spend the dollars. And my wife in particular, who was involved, and she said, well, have you ever gone through the directory? And a lot of people obviously hadn't done that. And I know my wife actually went through with a highlighter and found the businesses that were prepared to take Bartercard dollars. And we found a mechanic that services our business cards. And so the whole thing worked out very well. Do you think there's also... It's very hard to educate businesses about how it can work effectively.
Well, that's obviously the biggest challenge that we have is people using it and understanding how to use it. And we're actually developing a new knowledge center in our website to be launched soon, which so people can go there and get this knowledge. And because it's an important thing, because there's so many different ways of using Bartercard, and a lot of our top traders have mastered and used it. And it's a great opportunity, but again, our challenge is constant education and making people use the system.
Yeah, okay. So what have been some of the big success stories of companies that have used Bartercard very effectively?
Well, again, it depends upon the various industries. As I said, we've got from hotels using it to offset expenses in their hotel and trading rooms. I mean, we have a lot of sporting clubs, Tier 1 sporting clubs.
Yeah, I've seen football teams in New Zealand, Bartercard all around.
And here in Australia, we
the Broncos
with the Titans. Yeah, the Broncos, the Titans we're using at the moment, the Queensland Reds, and they realise they have excess capacity, either in seats, in corporate boxes, or anything like that. So if they now can trade that to have used for goods and services they spend regular, it's converting their dollars into cash.
What's the future of the company?
Well, I got some big plans. I'd like to see double our membership in the next 5 years, but in order for us to do that, we have to develop our franchise network and our sales force significantly more. So we're looking for good franchises, motivated people to go. But we're also looking to tap into the corporate market a lot, which we haven't. And because it's still a simple concept, it's still moving excess or idle inventory and getting goods and services. Same applies to big business. So we see that as a strong market which will help drive the small businesses as well. And again, that's where we're looking to take it.
So are you saying that you've had a difficulty really getting through the message to top-notch CFOs about the potential of what Bartercard is?
Well, we're actually, in going into the industry segment, funny this week, we've actually sponsored now the CPA Association's annual conference, which we happen to do a barter deal on as well, to create that awareness. Because, again, that's our biggest challenge. If we can educate the CFOs and the accountants, well, they're the direct link to the businesses as well.
It seems unbelievable, really, because, in a sense, your big value to any business is that you improve cash flow. And CFOs are supposed to be the experts on cash flow. Why do you think there's been a disconnect?
Well, I think it's just sometimes they just don't get it. And again, the simplicity sometimes maybe baffles them. But the whole idea is, like anything, you have to put effort in. We provide this business tool, but it requires the business owner to apply in his business. And it's thinking sometimes a little bit different. Like we can make the purchasing agent the best salesperson in the company, because the more they can buy, there's more sales that they can come into their business.
A problem you must have had to deal with, and this is going to be something, I guess, for always, is that someone signs up to be a Bartercard member, but they really only want to maybe take 10% of their revenue in Bartercard dollars, but they get 20% demand, and they've got to say, no, I don't want to do it. That must turn off potential, particularly newcomers to Bartercard. How do you deal with that?
Well, I guess like we said, businesses use it somewhere between 5 and 10% of their turnover, so that's all we're looking. Our challenge is to continue to meet the demands of our clients. So we would be looking for referrals from businesses to go and get more of those particular businesses so they can supply it. Or alternatively, we try to work with that existing business to find more alternative spending methods for him as well.
Now, I have seen in my lifetime some unusual things being sold on Bartercard. One that stands out, I've seen blocks of land being sold on Bartercard. But tell us some other ones, because I think it actually gives you a good idea of the kind of range of services and products that can be bought on Bartercard.
Well, I think if you look at a directory, and we've got everything from Aboriginal art right through to zoo. So again, we do real estate. We have.
Have you sold houses on Bartercard?
Yeah, houses on Bartercard.
I guess in the Gold Coast, sometimes when the market's down, they'll take anything to sell.
Well, I think it's all over the place, but we take houses, deposits on trade. We sell a lot of wine. There's thousands of wine labels, so we have lots of wineries that are selling wine to our restaurants, so they're creating new markets. We're selling, pasta to New Zealand and various things like that. So it's a great tool to get into new markets, which they haven't had the opportunity before.
So the turnover nowadays is around
423 million. Our members are trading through the Bartercard.
And we should explain that a Bartercard dollar is equal to a Australian dollar, and the tax office views it that way as well.
Yeah, the tax ruling, I think it's IT 2668 for anyone who wants to look it up. But it's virtually, say, 1 Australian dollar equals 1 trade dollar for all accounting tax purposes, which means that you get a tax invoice the same as with the GST. You pay in trade and you receive in trade, so everything is as it would be as normal. Just normal.
Now, I remember there was a time when you went very close to listing on the stock exchange. So what was the sad story about that?
Well, the sad story was the timing. Unfortunately, that was in the late 90s, and we were just putting our prospectus, and that's when the internet bubble burst and it went down. So we withdrew it. We were looking for global expansion that time, but then we went for alternative means, and so hence we haven't listed since.
So because you've moved into other markets, in a sense, you're an exporter as well, because it's a service. Has Austrade assisted you in your growth?
Not particularly, but I guess that's one of the advantages of people. Smaller businesses want to export overseas. I mean, we got small wineries in South Australia now exporting to Thailand. I mean, they don't have the big budgets like the big wine companies, but now we sent a case of wine over between a broker there and a broker there. It's now supplying to a hotel in Thailand. So it's a market they would have never had. And so we've got lots of different examples how we're helping businesses export and import on different areas.
Yeah, obviously, you're an entrepreneur. You started a business from scratch. It was how many people were in the office when you first kicked off?
Well, there was 3 of us and 1 assistant.
And how many people now are in the organisation?
In the Australian office, we got 75. At national office, about 250 staff nationally, and our international division about another 20.
And you've got franchisees, effectively, who've bought a Bartercard franchise, and their job is to bring in more and more small business people to build up the
That's right, and stimulate them to buy and sell.
Okay, you might not have been ready for this question, but what have you learned about growing a business?
Well, I think the one thing is if you've got focus and passion, you can achieve anything. When you lose that, it's difficult.
I often quote Chris Evert, who once said that most of my career was based on desire. You have to have a desire to win, don't you? Because there are a lot of things that get in your way that can prevent you from winning.
Definitely. And I mean, that's one thing I still love about this business. I'm still passionate because there's so many things you can do with it. Your mind can just go for all different directions. So it's after 20 years, I'm still very passionate. And I love the great stories you hear, how we've helped save businesses, how we've improved their businesses, and it's great to talk to the members when I get out in the field.
So you're really big obstacle and your challenge for the future is to educate small business people about the benefits of
it's understanding. I mean, people have seen our logo, but how does it work? And so what in our website we're going to develop is industry-based sections. So in the hospitality, this is how it works for me, and say maybe some explanations from restaurateurs or people actually using it in case studies, so people can apply it. Because sometimes the shift between the basic simple concept of trading your excess capacity, for needed goods and services, they miss that link, how they apply to their business.
Yeah, case study is the best way of teaching anyone, I think.
Definitely.
Mate, thanks for joining us on the program.
No problem. Thank you.
That's the show, but before we go,